Please, Rick Blood is here.
Rick Blood.
Rick Blood.
Rick Blood. Rick Blood.
Hey, that's cool.
Welcome to Unfiltered, week before Christmas, and I have to start out because hopefully I've got special people watching tonight. I have to say Merry Christmas to my cousin, United States Marine Corps Master Sergeant Timothy Scribner, all the way over in Japan. I believe he's in Okinawa. His wife, Leanne, his two sons, Patrick and Connor, who will not have their father for Christmas this year because he's in the military, and they are down in Beaufort, South Carolina. So hi Tim, hi Leanne, Patrick and Connor. I hope you're watching. I hope you enjoy the show. All right. I also want to say Merry Christmas to all the other service people who can't be with their families on Christmas. It's a horrible thing that we have to have people, protecting the country, and they can't even get one day off. So think of them while you're opening your Christmas presents and having your dinner and everything. Think of the guys that are over, making sure you've got your freedoms. All right. Last week, I did the whole bit about the 12 days of Christmas I mentioned and not being able to figure it out. Well, Greg filled me in after the show that the 12 days of Christmas goes, the 12th day is January 6th, which is the day the wise men actually showed up. So, that's what I forgot. See, I rushed out here so fast. I got the wise men in my office from home because I have to mention, I was going to have them on my desk. Nowhere near a manger. All right? This is the mistake that so many people make year after year after year when they set up their nativity scenes. They put their wise men at the manger. They didn't get there yet. And if your baby Jesus is in the manger, hide him too, because he's not even the baby Jesus yet. So.
And Mary and Joseph were still traveling on the bicycle, getting to the manger at this point. They weren't even there yet.
They didn't have a bicycle. The bicycles hadn't
Ask
even been
Andrea.
invented
She
yet.
says it all the time.
Of course they got a bicycle.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph on a bicycle.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm pretty sure they had an ass. Was how they got around. And it's perfect because this is going to segue right into my next story. Because unlike Jesus and Mary traveling on camels and donkeys, the so-called fat cat, smart guy, scientist type people that are over in Copenhagen at this whole climate change summit have ordered 1,000 limousines to drive their fat asses around individually. Because, God forbid a big important guy like these people at the summit can't be riding around two in a car.
They can't carpool, huh?
They can't carpool, apparently. And it's so bad, there are not even 1,000 limos in Denmark. Most of the limos are being driven in from Germany. Now remember, these are all fat cats who flew into Copenhagen all on their own private jets. Now they've all got to have their own private limos. Meanwhile, it's 6 damn degrees here. I am not worried about things getting warmer. I am praying that things get warmer. Let me tell you. It was horrible this morning. It was so bad. I got in my car to go to work this morning after I had, warmed it up for 3 to 5 minutes. I don't like letting my car idle. You know, it increases my carbon footprint, and I don't think it's good for the cars to idle. I got in my car, and my little warning light on my dashboard for my tire pressure thing said I had a flat tire. Well, I looked, but there was nothing on the rim, so I drove to 7-Eleven to put some air in the tires, and lo and behold, every single one of my tires registered at 15 pounds of pressure. Now, yesterday, they were at 40. Cold air. So I pumped a crap load, pumped them right back up to 44 PSI, like it says on the side of the tire, and I know damn well in April, I'll check them, and the pressure will be about 90.
This is where you have to pretend you're NASCAR. Warm those tires up. Get them going.
Yeah. See, that I should, like, drive real radical? So I was just trying to build the pressure up in the tires, officer.
Just do burnouts at the starting line.
No, I don't want to do that. I saw a dude on Steven Seagal Lawman doing burnouts and getting yanked out of his car in good shape by the big man. And he's sitting on the ground all in cuffs and stuff, and the cops are trying to talk to him, and he leans over and he goes, "Hey, that's Steven Seagal." I got to shake his hand. Cop said, "He pulled you out of the car. You already did." That's funny. So anyway, yeah, this whole climate change thing, and apparently, Hillary Clinton, I guess, announced today that she thinks that the United States should help pay these underdeveloped countries, because I guess what they're saying is these underdeveloped countries, because we've developed and China is developing, all these little underdeveloped countries can't develop because we're making too many greenhouse gases. It doesn't make sense. I mean, because
I idle my car, they can't have decent education.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Because 200 years ago, we were an undeveloped country. We were farmers. We made the decision, hey, look, we got to do something. I don't know. But it comes down, I mean, sure, what they want to do is they want to put a cap on greenhouse gas emissions, which means that every time a new person is born and breathes, we've got to get rid of one car from the economy because it's that much more CO2, apparently. I don't know. It's all these fat cat scientists. I mean, we can't figure out, stuff that we can pick up and hold in our hands. We can't figure out what's going on with them. Now we think we can, understand the universe and the weather, and it's just nuts. It's stupid. It's a way for people to control other people. They say, "Oh, well, we're smart. We know what's happening." Well, like I said last week, in the 70s, they thought we were going into global cooling, and they wanted to do all they could do to build up the heat in the planet. Now, all of a sudden, it's completely reversed. And it's the same with everything. One day, milk is good for you. The next day, milk is bad for you. Eggs are good for you. Eggs are bad for you. Nobody knows. So face it, we are the greatest country in the world because we're who we are, when we should not bow down to anybody. We should not offer our sovereignty or our money to anybody. It's bad enough that we keep, apparently there's another stimulus. I think it was $145 billion for job creation stimulus. That would be nice to pump $145 billion into creating jobs. Unfortunately, in order to do that, We need to borrow $145 billion from the Chinese. You know? It's a beautiful thought to think that we can just give and give and give and make everybody just like us, but it's not going to happen. There are countries that would not want to be like us. Little agrarian societies, I'm sure, all over the world that, you know, are happy the way they are. Most people, you know, then again, a lot of us Americans could stand to do with half of what we have. Seriously. And I'm going to roll right into this next thing that's, you know, been kind of bugging me since last week, when the Sentinel did a huge expose on the homeless in Keene and what a crisis it is. And there's a small group of them living out behind Hannaford's. Oh my God. Like, you know, make them out to be the dregs of society. You know, and granted, you know, homeless is not, you know, is usually at least partly a person's fault, whether they're homeless or not. Nobody can ever say, you know, well, I had nothing to do with the fact that I was homeless. But to be treated, you know, and told you can't survive is just stupid. Especially when the landowner says, you know, no problem. I don't mind you being out here. These guys, I happen to think about it today because today is a really cold day. And you never hear anything about the homeless in the summertime. You start hearing about the homeless when the weather turns bad, when the shelters get full and overfull. People have no place to go. I believe we've got 2 shelters in Keene, a men's shelter and a woman's shelter. And for one thing, if you stay in a shelter, you have to be in the shelter by 9 o'clock and you cannot leave after 9 o'clock at night. You also have to get out of the shelter in the morning. You can't be there during the day. Some people can't work though, Bruce. Some people have disabilities, they can't work. Some people have mental and health problems that they can't work. But the shelter system is inadequate. One of the things I got all worked up and fired up this morning running around the house, you know, and I said, you know, it's not like any of the hotels in Keene are sending their little shuttle van out there behind Hannaford's at 11 o'clock at night saying, hey, we've got a couple of rooms open for the night that nobody's booked. You know, the hotels won't do that. You know, God forbid they give up, you know, 60, 70 bucks to help some people for the night. Yeah, I'd rather have the room go vacant. There you go. And have the people clean the room the next day. Why not? I mean, it's up to everybody. You know, that's why, you know, we can make things better by giving. You know, and it's the other thing I was thinking today, being it's so cold, I was wondering what I would do if I was homeless. You know, if I was living outside, this time of year, I would probably be starting to think real hard about committing a crime so I could go to Westmoreland and get put in the jail and live off the taxpayers. Warm, plenty of food, you know? Why not? These people living out behind Hannaford's, they're not doing that. They don't want to live off the taxpayers. They just want to take care of themselves and make it through the winter and be left alone. You know, they're not bothering anybody. So some of them drink. So some of them smoke pot. Who cares? You know, they're not And my advice to them, to any of the homeless people, of course, not many homeless people have TVs that they're sitting in front of watching right now. But my advice to them is if they get thrown off that piece of property, I would move my shit right into one of the doorways on Main Street. Keene is not the only place that has homeless people. If it's just they're highly noticeable in Keene because we're a small town. There's probably 50 times as many homeless people in New York City.
More than that.
You know that there's homeless people in New York City because you can see them on the street every day. But there's so many other people that the numbers don't seem that bad. I don't know. But, yeah, these guys don't want to go to jail. They don't want to live off somebody else. They just want to make it. You know? So, I think it's stupid. Leave them alone. Let them do their own thing. You know? So they built a little ramshackle hut out there to stay warm. You know? It's damn ingenious, yeah. And I guess, from what I understand, they had been using like a 5-gallon bucket with a piece of plywood and a toilet seat on it. And then after they'd use it, they would go out and dig a hole and dump it and bury it. Just like the olden days, the Wild West, the frontier. We did it for hundreds of years. But apparently the city said, no, they can't do that. That's unsanitary. So I believe 4 churches in town. Each church has donated 1 month's worth of a porta potty that they've taken out there and set out there. So,
Rick, I hate to tell you, but it was back in the 60s. We had a house that had an outhouse attached to it, and that's what I had to use. Cold in the winter, and it would come whistling through, and it freezer took us, and you didn't delay. But I'll tell you what, it was still then, and we're talking the 60s that this existed. So it wasn't that, well, I don't think it was that long ago. But anyways, they still exist.
right. Yeah. And actually, I looked for some information on the homeless. I was looking for numbers. For some reason, I figured that there would be numbers. But it's not really something you can track real well because there's no sign-up sheet for homeless.
It's tough for the Census Bureau to track them down.
Exactly. But there are some averages and some surveys. Most of the studies show that single homeless adults are more likely to be male than female. A 2007 survey by the U.S. Conference of Mayors found that of the population surveyed, 35% of the homeless people who are members of households with children are male, while 65% of these people are females. The number of homeless families with children has increased significantly over the past decade. They're among the fastest growing segments of the homeless population. In 2007, 23 American cities found that families with children comprised 23% of the homeless population. And they are likely to be higher in rural areas. All right, what other little... Research indicates that 40% of all homeless men have served in the armed forces. How sad is that? That's a death. Yeah. Serve your country. Do your country proud, and we'll bring you home and shit all over you for the rest of your life. Really makes you want to join up, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't know. There were other, where's the rest of the damn papers? Okay. Here's some more.
Just out of curiosity, this isn't the first time that our country's gone through an economic depression. I wonder if there was a significant homeless situation back during the Depression.
There's always a homeless population.
Well, I'm sure that
There was a significant.
to one point or another, but I'm curious how much it increased during that time frame.
I don't know. There's here's some kind of numbers that on an average night in the 23 cities surveyed, 94% of people living on the streets were single adults. 4% were part of families and 2% were unaccompanied minors. Unaccompanied homeless minors. 70% of those in emergency shelters were single adults. 29% were part of families and 1% were unaccompanied minors. The average length of stay in an emergency shelter was 69 days for single men, 51 days for single women, and 70 days for families. Now, why does a single woman have to end up spending less time in a homeless shelter than a single man? That sounds a little strange. Almost sounds like maybe women are more ambitious than men. I don't know. Or maybe they just find somebody to shack up with. Exactly, Greg.
Yeah, I'm sure it's easier for a woman to move in with a guy than a guy to move in with a woman, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And according to the U.S. Conference of Mayors in 2008, the homeless population is estimated to be 42% African American, 13% Caucasian, 39% Caucasian, 13% Hispanic, 4% Native American, and 2% Asian. Although the 4% Native Americans, they just consider themselves, living like their ancestors. It's not really homeless. I don't know. If you're a Native American, you can't be homeless. Because everywhere is your home.
Nomadic.
Nomadic, exactly. But I thought that was kind of weird. All right. Let me get to a little clip. I pulled from, and then we'll do crew call after the clip. I pulled this clip from the Christmas special that we did because I had found some research from scientists, and it really bugged me. So this is the clip from the Christmas show about scientific Christmas. It's titled, "Is There a Santa Claus?" Written by scientists. Number one, no known species of reindeer can fly. But there are 300,000 species of living organisms yet to be classified. And while most of them are insects and germs, it doesn't completely rule out flying reindeer, which only Santa Claus can see. The second point they bring up is that there are 2 billion children, people under 18 in the world, but since Santa doesn't service or doesn't appear to service Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, and Buddhist children, that reduces his workload down to 15% of the total, which is 378 million kids, according to the Population Reference Bureau. So at an average of 3.5 kids per household, it's 91.8 million homes that Santa has to visit. And that presumes that there's at least one good kid in every house. Here's some good news. Santa actually has 31 hours to work with on Christmas because of time zones and the rotation of the Earth. That's assuming that he travels east to west, which would make sense. Seems logical for him to go east to west. So this works out to 822.6 visits per second. He's quick. This is to say that for each Christian household with good children, Santa has 1/1000th of a second to park, hop out of the sleigh, jump down the chimney, spread the presents around, fill the stockings, eat whatever's left for him, and then zip back up the chimney, get back in the sleigh, and go on to the next house. Okay, so apparently it's a bunch of scientific crap with total miles and total trip miles of 75.5 million miles. And that doesn't count stops that the normal person would have to stop, in 31 hours. So apparently this means that Santa's sleigh travels 650 miles per second. That's 3,000 times the speed of sound. And for comparison, the Ulysses space probe travels at 27.4 miles per second. It's kind of slowpoke satellite. And a conventional reindeer runs at 15 miles an hour. So another thing that they mention is the payload on the sleigh. Because it assumes that each child gets nothing more than a medium-sized Lego set, which is about 2 pounds. The sleigh is carrying 321,300 tons. And that's not counting Santa, who is, said to be a little on the heavy side. On land, a conventional reindeer can only pull 300 pounds. So even granting that flying reindeer could pull 10 times that amount, you'd need 214,000 reindeer to pull a sled holding that much stuff. And of course, the 200,000 reindeer increases the payload to bring it up to a total weight of 353,430 tons. And another comparison is that's 4 times the weight of the Queen Elizabeth, the ship, not the lady. All right. Okay. So let's recap here. It's at 353,000 tons traveling at 650 miles per second. That creates enormous air friction, And if anybody's seen NASCAR and seen especially NASCAR on Fox, right? They uses the little Rusty Wallace's little draft tracks thing. You see the airflow. The lead pair of reindeer.
That just shows whether it's clean air or dirty air.
All right. But I mean, it's the same thing with reindeer drafting each other flying. But apparently, that much weight, that speed, the lead pair of reindeer will absorb 14.3 quintillion joules of energy per second each. So they'll burst into flames instantly. It's pretty much what it says here. Well, it says almost instantaneously. Exposing the reindeer behind them, and behind them, the entire reindeer team will be vaporized within 4.26 thousandths of a second. Santa, meanwhile, apparently Santa's fireproof. He'll be subjected to centrifugal forces 17,500.06 times greater than gravity. 17,000 G-forces. Which means a 250-pound Santa, which seems like a little skinny, would be pinned to the back of his sleigh by 4.5 million pounds of force. So what they say in conclusion is if Santa ever did deliver presents on Christmas Eve, he's dead now. But I mean, that's why science, scientists are fools. And what the guys that wrote that don't realize is Christmas Day and Christmas Eve is magic. There's no science involved, no physics. It's magic. Christmas magic. And Santa Claus has a sack full of it.
He's got all that magic dust, man.
He's got the magic dust. He's got magic everything. And that's what makes this time of year so perfect. That's right. Christmas magic. That's what it's all about, man. I love that. That was a great bit to do, too. Geez, where do I want to go here from here? How about anybody looking for a dog? Apparently two little small dogs from the Nebraska Humane Society are trying to find a home. They were given to the Humane Society, took them after their owner killed himself, and they ate him. Says they like kids, especially if they're laying still. A stupid story. All right. Let's get into crew call. Let's see how wise men have shown up. That's like gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Yeah. Anyway. And on camera 3 is Greg. See, I set him up the right way for you tonight, Bruce.
Yeah, we're in the booth.
Yeah,
Hello,
okay.
everybody.
Yeah, and Bruce and Andrea is in the booth. Yeah, Jim is off at City Council. They're doing their whole little City Council thing. And I think they're having a Christmas party afterwards. So, yeah. I don't give my crew a Christmas party. So, sorry, guys.
Nice guy that you are.
Yeah.
After all, you pay us to come down here. I wish I had the camera on you, man. The look on your face was priceless, because you don't pay us nothing, man. We do this for fun.
I know.
Speaking of fun, looking forward to the holiday season, gearing up for Christmas. I pulled the tree out of the spare room yesterday, and I'm procrastinating setting it up. But Andrea's getting antsy. She wants to see the tree up and put the decorations out and give the cats something to play with. So, you know,
Wow.
whatever. But
My mother's tree's been up for like weeks now.
wrong one.
I put mine up last week.
There you are.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, my mother's tree's been up for weeks.
When did she put hers up?
I don't even remember. It was shortly after Thanksgiving, though.
Yeah, I used to.
But
As soon as the turkey was done, she's dragging out the Christmas stuff, huh?
I cannot imagine 100 years ago, people would bring a Christmas tree into their house on Thanksgiving Day, leave it there until New Year's, and put friggin' candles all over it.
Warm the house.
You know?
It certainly
Oh
did
my
warm
God.
the house.
But that's what happens. So, what else has been going on in your world? Anything, Bruce?
My world is up days and down days. You know, days I got to work, working too much. We finally had a decent day on Tuesday. Came in Sunday, it ran like crap. Tuesday ran like crap, or Monday it ran like crap. Tuesday we finally got it running good, and they decided, oh, let's go ahead and change the product. So Wednesday it ran like crap. So
what are you making now?
having lots of
Spaghetti?
fun. Spaghetti? No.
You said they changed the product. Figured maybe they moved from needles to spaghetti.
No, we're still making needles, just different size, different configuration.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a needle's a needle, but we make either a combo with a syringe attached or without a syringe. So
You might want to tell them make a spaghetti might be more fun.
well, we work in a semi-clean room, and I can just picture spaghetti wouldn't work there. So
All right. We will be cleaning spaghetti. Did any?
Andrea says she got nothing, so we're gonna just throw it back at you, buddy.
It's amazing that there's no NASCAR news when it's 6 degrees out.
They can't get the tires warm enough, man.
Even with the inner tire. This week, I can't remember what night it was, Monday or Tuesday night, I think. Anderson Cooper, or good old AC 360, did a whole show on youth violence in the country, and the fact that it's out of control. A lot of it has to do with our education system and the fact that the education system isn't working, and the fact that because our kids are stupider, or more stupid, or less educated, they're more violent. Because more educated people tend to be less violent, less educated people tend to be more violent. So, apparently, our kids are dumb as rocks lately at the rate that violence is growing among kids. So I had to, at least, I wanted to back myself up with some facts. So at least to you people out there think I'm semi-intelligent. I mean, I know a lot of stuff. It's just I forget it because, that whole thing. Youth violence is the second leading cause of death for young people between the ages of 10 and 24. It's not, jumping their bicycles off the roof. It's violence with other kids. 5,958 young people aged 10 to 24 were murdered in 2006. An average of 16 every day. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's a great way to lighten the load on the teachers. If 16 fewer kids show up every day to class, it reduces the carbon footprint. Over 631,000 violence-related injuries in young people ages 10 to 24 were treated in U.S. emergency rooms in 2007. In 2007, a nationwide survey, 36% of high school students reported being in a physical fight during the past 12 months. That's a third of all high school kids have been involved in fights every single year. Nearly 6% of high school students in 2007 reported taking a gun, knife, or club to school in the 30 days prior to the survey.
I bet a lot of kids took knives to school when I was a kid.
Yeah, back when we were kids, Greg, it wasn't uncommon to take, you carried your buck knife. I mean, but, you needed it because you were usually, cutting up trees or something. We weren't stabbing each other with it.
Go out and skin a deer on your free period.
And it was also not uncommon when we were in school, Greg, to bring your hunting rifle to school with you. If you were going hunting before school or hunting after school. And leave it in the vehicle. Yeah. An estimated 30% of kids between 6th and 10th grade, 1/3 of all kids between 6th and 10th grade report being involved in bullying. Yeah, so it doesn't say. I imagined both. Actually, 30%, it almost seems like that's the kids that bully. Because it seems to me that it would be a higher number for kids that actually get bullied. I don't know.
No, you're probably going to get the people that get bullied reported. Bullies think, don't think.
Yeah, that's what the bullies probably don't come up and say, hey, I'm a bully. Maybe they do, though. I mean, as a parent, I would demand, look, if anybody's going to bully my kid, it's going to be me.
Most people realize if they're a jerk, they know it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes.
They just don't care.
You want to hear how stupid some criminals are? Or should I stick? No, yeah, I'll do this one. Because this is funny. In Pennsylvania, police had to interrogate a suspect. So they put a metal colander on his head, and they connected it with wires to a photocopy machine. And they put the message, "He's lying," in the copier. And every time the guy answered a question that they didn't think he was telling the truth to, they pushed the button, and "you're lying" came out of the copy machine. And the suspect thought the lie detector test was working, so he confessed.
I don't think I've ever been that
See?
bad off.
No, I mean, you don't, as a police don't need, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of lie detector equipment when they can just, $20 down at your kitchen store for a colander and plug it into your copy machine. Jesus. There's an even better one. In Michigan, an intoxicated man walked in to rob a service station. And when the two service station attendants refused to hand over the money, he threatened to call the cops. And the station attendant said, "Go ahead." So he did, and when the cops came, they arrested him. And here's a guy in Canada, because, I don't want us Americans to take all the heat. They're stupid in Canada too. Because a gas station attendant had to identify a robber in a lineup, and even though the man had worn a pair of women's panties over his head as a disguise, the ID was simple. And later on, the thief admitted that his mind was so clouded by intoxicants that he had stuck his head through the leg hole so he could see. And in Virginia Beach. Oh, wait, no, let me do the California one first. And I'm going to say this guy's name because he's so stupid. Stephen Richard King was arrested for trying to hold up a Bank of America branch. He used his thumb and finger to simulate a gun, but he forgot to keep his hand in his pocket. Your money, or I'll point at you. And in Virginia Beach, a man actually managed to rob the bank. And as he was running out the door, he stuffed the money down the front of his pants. A few minutes later, witnesses saw him jumping around and hopping around with an explosion happening in his pants because the dye pack blew up. Yeah.
That gives a whole new meaning to the term blue.
It does, yeah. How crazy is that? And as a criminal, you should never worry about being misquoted. Because in Los Angeles, California, during a lineup, detectives asked each man in line to repeat the words, "Give me all your money or I'll shoot." And one of the suspects shouted, "That's not what I said." Yeah. It's nuts, isn't it? All right. Yeah, what do we got for time on that, Bruce? No, I mean on the clip. All right. We'll do that then. We'll go to the musical clip. Tonight's Mom's Tattoo musical interlude from this year's Keene Music Fest is Dusty and the No.
When I come on by, baby, and I saw you, yeah, I can't survive. I can't survive this greatest love of mine. Take you out all the time, buy everything all over in my life. You get what you want, never have to wait. You leave me empty, baby, a long time to wait. All I'm left here to do, I can't survive. I can't survive this greatest love of mine. Oh, darling, don't tell you don't tell me no more. Need your love and arms. You hold me tight, you hold me tight. Oh, darling, no. Don't tell you don't tell me no more. I can't survive. I can't survive. I can't survive this greatest love of mine. Thank you all very much.
Thank y'all very much. Yeah. Yeah, they were a good band. I got a couple of school stories. In Texas, apparently there's a little pre-kindergarten kid who likes wearing his hair long. And the school was not having it. They, the first time apparently they suspended him. And now apparently they found the out-of-school suspension. They figured out-of-school suspension is too harsh of a punishment, so now they've got like a modified in-school suspension where they basically isolate him and let him do his work because he's got long hair. And it's not actually that long.
And that's not discrimination?
Well, no, because it's in the dress code. Apparently, the dress code for their school district is, let's see, where did I see it? Boys' hair must be kept out of the eyes and cannot extend below the bottom of the earlobes or over the collar of a dress shirt.
Is this a military school?
No, I think it's just a little public crap school in Texas.
I don't think the public school system can require that stringent a dress code.
Apparently,
Unless it's like one of them Baptist counties down south.
well, it's Texas. You know, they're more intent on making sure that their kids look good instead of learn very well. You know, we don't care if you're stupid, as long as your hair is short. That's right. As long as you're a redneck, boy, show off that neck. Now, the kid's name is Taylor Pugh, and he prefers the nickname Tater Tot. He's 4 years old. He says they kicked me out of that place. I miss my friends. Because his hair's long. But he's growing it long for a reason. He says, well, Taylor's parents say he plans to eventually cut his hair and donate it to a charity that makes wigs for cancer patients. You know, and why not? Your hair's going to grow anyway. Why cut it every time it's an inch long? Grow it long, cut it, and donate it.
Do they have a minimum length for the girls?
I don't know, probably. Who knows how these little things are. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, this is just nuts. There's a daycare center in Cincinnati that apparently is mixing melatonin in with its, like, morning snack routine. Melatonin is the chemical in your brain that makes you sleep. So it's, yeah, they're giving children, like, doses of this sleepy time stuff. You know? Kind of makes you want to work at a daycare. 40 parents. Police said the church, oh, it's a church. I just kind of skimmed over this. I'm trying to, oh yeah. Because there's been a couple of the parents have filed a lawsuit against the Covenant Apostolic Church Incorporated. That stupid church is Inc. It's a church, Inc. It's nuts. I mean, it's people that just aren't doing their jobs. You know, so you're supposed to be taking.
They're addicting the kids to drugs.
Yeah, they're doing something. And the healthcare, it's Obama this week made this huge speech where he made it out that if this healthcare bill doesn't get passed and passed soon, it will be the end of America as we know it. Floods will come and earthquakes will rise up and you know, fire will fall from the sky and it'll be, you know, like the worst thing ever if we don't do something and do something now. You know, I'm getting damn tired of all these politicians using fear to play with the American people. And the health care bill, from what I understand, was 1,900 pages coming out of the House. It's well over 2,000 pages in the Senate. And it's this huge thing. Nobody can read it. And nobody has still addressed the single answer to the entire thing, or even what the major problem is. There is a problem with the healthcare system. And we're trying to fix everything except the problem. Would you like me to fill you in on what the problem is? Really? You promise you'll think about it? The one problem with healthcare is greedy goddamn doctors. Sure, you spent $100,000 on doctor school. You didn't have to. Nobody forced you. Nobody put a gun to your head and said, go to medical school and be a doctor.
Might be a couple.
I don't think anywhere in the Hippocratic Oath it says anything about what your salary's supposed to be.
You know, I'm trying to figure out if they even use the Hippocratic Oath anymore, if it even means anything. But people make a decision now to be a doctor to get rich. You know, you go and you want just a general doctor, and you can't find one. You got to see, you know, if you got a problem with your eye, you got to see one doctor. If you got a problem with your elbow, you got to see a totally different doctor. One guy can't, like, doctor the whole body anymore. You got to get this whole damn team of people in with you to figure out what the hell's wrong with you. And it's stupid. It's not right. You become a doctor to help people. Or don't become a doctor. Dig ditches for a living. That would have saved you $100,000 in medical school right there, as if you just picked up a shovel, started digging. All right. I want everybody to look close on Sunday when you get your TV paper and the schedule for Cheshire TV. We have got some fantastic stuff for this Christmas holiday. Friday the 25th and Saturday the 26th is loaded with Old Beverly Hillbillies Christmas, Ozzie and Harriet, Jack Benny, Red Skelton, everything. The high school band, the middle school band holiday concert. We've got them all. All right. Up next on No Spin, I believe Stillman Rogers for sure, possibly Roger Zerba. I want to thank my whole crew. I want to thank my sponsor, Mom's Tattoo. Till the new year. Peace.
Stop. There are kids watching. That's no way to teach kids how to behave.
Refreshments provided by G. Housen Distributors. Premium beverages delivered.